We're located in the woods in the west end of Ottawa. A lot of people, even though we've been here for 30 years, still don't know about us. We take in about 2,500 birds a year. These are birds that people have found injured that very likely would not have survived if they wouldn't have been picked up and brought here and had the chance to recover in a safe area.
I found it because another dog walker, we were out walking our dogs, was taking her dog back to the car because her dog had tried to attack it.
Okay. So it's just that black box at the top, so you just have to fill out your name, info, and where you found the bird.
My job, I guess, is pretty multifaceted. I do meds, I do a lot of the cleaning, I'll admit birds when they first come in and give them an exam, and diagnose what's wrong with them, and come up with a treatment plan.
He's okay, huh?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you his ID number, and you can call and we'll give you an update on how the exam went and everything like that. Yeah.
Beautiful. All right. Thanks so much.
No problem. I'll bring him back.
Wow, how cool.
One thing I'm really interested in and I really like doing is kind of habitat or like cage enrichment. So to try and recreate their habitat as much as possible to reduce stress and to make them feel more at home when they're in the center. So depending on what stage of rehabilitation they're in, it depends on what you can do. So if the bird really shouldn't be moving around, there's not much else you can do but give them a nice comfy kind of enclosure stocked with towels and blankets and just keep them comfortable. But once they're up and around and moving about, you can move them into different rooms, into different cages, depending on the species of bird. We have lots of flight cages, so there's one we call the insectivore flight cage that has all sorts of small songbirds and flycatchers, goldfinches, juncos, and that room's just filled with all sorts of, like, a myriad of different perch types and branches and different substrates for them to kind of forage in.
So we received Violet in the summer of 2010. She was found on the side of the road, collapsed, pretty much lifeless by the time she got here. So our focus was just keeping her alive, liquid diets, things like that. She was not in any shape to do a full examination for a couple days. And finally, when we did do a full examination, we could tell that her shoulder, something wasn't right. And all we could feel is a scab. So it was a fairly old injury. And then about a week later, we were able to take her to the vet for x-rays, and that's when we realized she was unfortunately shot by someone. Incredibly illegal. I mean, she's a protected bird. It's not a hunted bird. So it broke our hearts. And at that point, the center needed a mascot, and we had fallen in love with Violet, and she's such a unique bird with so many fun attributes to educate people with that we decided to keep her as our mascot. Have you fed him anything yet today?
No.
I may have overfed him a little in there.
I think the most difficult part of the job is when you've had a bird for a period of time and its progress has either started declining or it has plateaued, and you have to make that judgment call of whether to continue treating it or to humanely euthanize it. And it could be a tough call because you can get very invested in the birds and you can get very attached to them, even though you try and keep that kind of distance.
I feel pretty attached to that bittern because when he came in, he was fine, and then he started declining and he was doing really badly, and so I had to gavage him, so feed him with a tube 3 times a day, and I was kind of always monitoring him and making sure just checking on his progress, his weight, and it was just kind of and now he's doing well. He's overwintering here, but he's doing well and he will be released. So it's kind of special because I worked with him for 2 months every day.
When you see birds that have been here and see them, go back into the wild, it's the best part of the job for sure.
Good luck. Go.